Hello there, everybody. Today we are going to be diving in with one of our members here inside of the community, Anesh, a little bit about his experience and what it has been like working with us. So, Anesh, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course, absolutely, Chris. Happy to be here.
Amazing. Yes, glad to have you here. Great to catch up as always. First
hmm
question before we kind of get into the nitty-gritty details of everything, can you just tell everyone what you coach people on?
I coach people on business systemization. So I help people to systemize their business. My audience is usually people in that $3 to $5 million of revenue category. This starts from there. So they're people who run small businesses, anywhere from 15 to 25 people, and they usually have teams, but they don't have a proper system to get things done. They feel like they can grow their business, but you know, the systems is holding them back. They have no problems with demand, but they are, having systems hold them back. So I help them to systemize the business.
Cool. Amazing. So, just to give everyone a little bit of a picture, like before working with us, like what did your coaching business look like? How were you getting clients? Like what state were you in before working with us?
Okay. So interesting thing, when I first met Chris, I do a lot of M&As. That means like business selling and brokerage aspect. So I was part of another coaching program called Ad Clients. And I signed up with them and we did a webinar funnel. So I invested quite a lot of money with ad clients before joining Chris's program. And during the process, I was looking to edit a video, and a video editor actually sent me her testimonial, her work. And then I saw Chris's video there, and one of the guys who I know, Valen, happened to be on the video. So that caught my attention. And I clicked on the video and I saw Chris's video interviewing Valen. And then after that, it just kept showing up on my YouTube feed. And obviously, I was in the coaching space. So I was like, hey, what's this guy Chris up to? Like, what is he telling? So obviously, more information is going to be better. So I followed Chris's content and I came across Chris as very genuine when with this interaction. So I felt that, even his interviews and the way how he expressed things, I just felt like there was a much more hand-holding process when he explained things. So that's what gravitated me to Chris, reaching out to Chris. Before I got into before with my previous coaching program with ad clients, I spent over $10,000 for the program, and I spoke to two clients. That's all I spoke to.
And when you say clients, you mean like prospects.
Prospects.
Okay. Yeah. Like possible buyers, but none of the
E-
materialize.
Exactly. And after spending a lot of money on ads too. When I joined Chris' program, Chris was like, hey, let's actually test your idea. Let's actually get it out there and let's see if there's demand. Let's start talking to people. I would say that in the first month itself, we ran just a lead form funnel, right? We just had something to just get it out there. We started getting talking to a lot of people initially. So I started understanding through the process what my market really wants. Like I thought they want something else. I thought they want more enterprise value for M&A, for selling their business. So after talking to a lot of people, I was able to pivot my idea to understand that what the business owners really the points were. So through that process, I was able to refine my offering and my offer.
Amazing. Yeah, no, it's been an amazing journey. I can say so many great things about you specifically. Anish. First of all, you're just a great guy and I enjoy working with you. But I feel like a lot of people come in like, oh, it needs to be immediate right now. Like, no, it needs to be this way. But one thing that I really
hmm
admire about you is that you're also like open to the idea. And obviously the goal is, hey, let's continue to get results quickly. And we don't necessarily need to move slow in this process. But even like you said, like
hmm
came in like this was the idea. And then through the conversations, it's like, okay, well, I can keep trying to push this. But if this isn't like the messaging, this isn't what people want. Why would I push this to the person, right? And that's one thing I commend you so much for being and having, because I think a lot of people also have ego attached to it. Like, no, I need to be right and this needs to be
hmm
it. I'm the coach and I'm the expert. It's like, no, like just needs to be framed differently. Because basically it's very similar. By having these systems, they then build the enterprise value that does this and that. But it's like the way we position is obviously a really important part of it. So yeah, did you want to add something?
Exactly.
Want to continue
When
on?
when I started, I expected that people like I help people sell their business for top valuation. So I expected that people would want to be coached so that way they can prepare like to, hey, I have a $1 million business. How can I get 1.5? Because obviously $500,000 more on the asking price is a decent amount, right? So my initial program was focused on that. But then I realized that people don't want to sell their business. They don't want to get off the treadmill. They just want to have a treadmill that they can enjoy more, they can run and enjoy better, which is kind of
Mm,
an interesting concept. What I found is that then I understood that they actually really want to systemize their business so they can take a step out of the business and they can grow their business, like be a CEO rather than just getting buried in the minimum wage, like $15 per hour task that they're getting sucked into.
yeah,
So through that journey itself, I talked to a lot of business owners. So that gave me a deep insight on my ICP and what they really want.
amazing. So we've talked about obviously who you coach, where were you at before working with us, bought this other program, spent a bunch of money both in their fee, but then also ads, didn't really have many conversations. The next question I normally like to ask is like, where did you first hear? I think you already kind of covered that of like through a video editor, you saw my YouTube, and this is even something I know I don't want to get too much in depth because I can get excited and go on this for a while.
Right.
But
Hmm.
YouTube, because you watch that one video because you recognize someone, you then started
Hmm.
getting fed other videos in the algorithm by YouTube of like, hey, this and then that. And then obviously, I think you commented,
Exactly.
call all of these different things.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of people that come and chat with us through that process of, I know you mentioned genuineness and so on, but if you were to kind of summarize on it, like what was that thing? Because I mean, heck, you already paid a bunch of money to add clients and you just buy programs, right? What
Hmm.
was that thing that you're like, yes, I really want to work with Chris and his team, and like those biggest reasons you decided to join actually?
So if I were to compare Chris's program to, say, ad clients, which I used,
Let's
ad
even
clients
say, I
felt
want to even
like,
say beforehand too, like before you even saw, obviously now you have much more insight, but before,
right.
like what specifically made you say, I want to work with Chris and his team?
Okay. Like if I were to say like ad clients, when I signed up with them, it just felt like a structured program where they had a department where they'll coach you on webinar. They'll have a department where you go
Mhm.
to ads. Where you had a department where you go to like, it just felt so bureaucratic. And it
Mm,
felt like I was waiting on everybody to actually get a time to book on the calendar. And it just felt like very corporate and their system did not work. Like when I saw your videos, I just felt like someone is like, hey, like it's like more than a paying for a structured bureaucratic program. It's kind of like hey, a mentor that I could get. Is he right? Hey, I can ask Chris, hey, how's my ad working? And one thing I got to commend you is that before the program, throughout the program, you have been very good with communication. There's never once I thought that, hey, I signed up for the program and now Chris is switched off. Is he right? I paid him the money and he's gone. It's like always Chris is always available. So that's why I talk about the genuinity, aspect of it. I feel that more than having this bureaucratic way of doing things, you need someone who's reliable and who's on your team, who can mentor you through the process. And I found that, even with you and your team, you always jump in when I have questions, which helped me quite a lot.
amazing. Um, Now kind of jumping more into not only like the entry point, but like specifically working with us, you've obviously highlighted a couple of different things. What are some
Hmm.
of the biggest wins, whether we're talking monetary, whether we're talking just like overall ahas? You already kind of talked about ICP shifts and understanding of the messaging, but what would you say are some of those biggest wins that you've had just by working with us over these past few months?
I felt like a great hand-holding process. Obviously, we were able to close a $15,000 client. We closed a couple of big clients, so which is great. And then there's a lot on our pipeline too. So there's been monetary benefit as well with the programs, which is amazing, and that's why I'm still in the program and continuing and keep improvising. So which has been great. I would say that for someone who is in the program needs to realize the importance of Facebook ads and understanding like that emotion associated with spending money where you're
Mm,
just getting raw data. You see, right? There's because our psychology is like, you spend $200, you at least get a shoe, you get something, right? But when it comes to Facebook ads and when it comes to coaching business, you're going to be spending thousands of dollars, sometimes, hundreds or even thousands of dollars to maybe land a client. And until then you get a data. You get some data. So I feel that someone getting into this needs to really understand that psychology that is going to be like the emotional, like I don't know how to explain, like, just that emotional state of spending money on ads to
Yeah.
land a client.
Yeah. Well, it's like this different feeling of like, well, is this gonna work? I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
is this just money down the drain? But truthfully, like, the way I know what you describe it, and don't want to get too in depth on it, but like if I have a machine, I put $1 in, I get $5 back. I'm gonna throw as
right.
much money as I can in that thing, you know? So I think
Exactly.
for a lot of people, it's like a foreign thing, and it's kind of scary because it is unknown to them, obviously, if this is their first time doing it.
And it works. It works great. Once you perfect that machine, then you can reap a lot of benefits from it. But there's a constant maintenance to the machine too, that you have to feed the algorithm, you have to keep doing it. So it's just understanding the fact that, Facebook ads is a reality in this
Mhm.
space. So I would say that that's something which I would say the audience to be prepared before joining any program or doing anything in the online space.
Amazing. I like it. One last question I do have before we wrap up. I do want to say
Mhm,
thank you. I appreciate you for jumping on and everything too.
mhm,
Um, for anybody who is on the fence, I anticipate that probably most of the people watching this, they're like, do I work with Chris and his team? Like, are these people legit? And so on. Probably very similar questions that you had before joining us too. What are the
mhm.
biggest things that you'd like to share with those people who are considering working with us here at TDC?
I would highly recommend it. I have sent a few people, a few of my friends to you as well who I've talked to.
Mhm.
Um, if you're looking for someone who is like going to be on his side, who's going to mentor you the process, has a good team, and Ryan has been super great this year, right? So like help you with that step-by-step approach, and you never feel like, you're lost, which can happen in this space quite a lot, especially when you're spending a lot of money and you don't even know it's working. Like I feel that Chris Perry's team and TDC really helps you, make sure that they're on top of it. What I liked also is that, if there is an ad that's not working, I can just call you right away and be like, hey, Chris, what do you think about it? You have a review and you say, hey, kill the ad right away. You don't let it just sit over there and wait until, it might work. You see, right? Because the tap is on and your wallet, you're spending money, right? So Chris is on top of it. Like you and your team, like and even Ryan too, you guys are on top of it. When it comes to like the ad spend, like making sure that we're getting good ROI, we're just not spending money unnecessarily. So I would say it's definitely worth the investment. If you want someone who is going to be on his side, guide you along the process, and be there with you on the long haul, I would definitely recommend.
Awesome. Well, Nish, thank you again. Appreciate you. Looking forward to the much continued success. And we'll go ahead and we'll talk more soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much.